We're going to go to our next question that comes from Brad. I work in retail and interacting with the public. It's a big part of my job. Can I get workers' comp if I catch coronavirus?
What question? We have Chris, the expert. I want to know what, and everybody wants to know this, that's working. What happens if you catch coronavirus at work? Do you have a claim?
Well, you can, and what we're seeing is, and we're seeing this more and more, we're seeing it in certain environments, is if you can prove that you caught coronavirus as a result of your work, then yes, you can assert a workers' compensation case. The issue is the proof, and you've got various things that will come into consideration. For example, you interact with the public as part of your job. Well, you may very well have caught coronavirus and interacting with the public at work, but do you only interact with the public at work? Do you interact with the public at the grocery store or Walmart or wherever? And so coronavirus can be anywhere, and it's the proof of that you got it at work that's the issue. Dealing with the public obviously is a way that you can interact with somebody and get the coronavirus. We're seeing a lot of people that work in facilities where there have been outbreaks. And so what I would tell anybody that thinks that they got it at work is how many other people got it at work. If you've got a population of employees that's 50 people and 25 of them have COVID, that's pretty good evidence that there's some commonality there, and that commonality is work. Healthcare workers. We're seeing a lot of healthcare workers, ambulance drivers, nurses, licensed practicing nurses, CNAs, that are dealing with COVID patients. They know that the patients that they're dealing with have COVID. That's also good evidence that you got it at work when you're having to deal with people that you know have COVID. So anybody can bring the claim that's got it. What you're looking for as an employee is how many of my coworkers have it, and am I working with people in the public that I know have COVID?
Thank you for sharing that. Go ahead,
Chris,
Rocky.
You know, the main thing Chris is bringing up is causation. And that's where I see a problem trying to bring a case outside of workers' compensation, just say personal injury or court lawsuit against some business or an entity saying they caused my son or they caused me to get coronavirus. Is you're basically going to have to eliminate all the other likely causes and show that they did it or they caused or contributed to it. Chris, what about the situation, though, where a work business tests positive or maybe was asymptomatic but had it, and the employer says, you stay at work, I don't care? That's a different situation, don't you think?
I think so. And I think what you're looking at is if you've got somebody that's positive, tested positive, and the employer is insisting that they come back to work, and we've seen this happen, either come back to work or you're terminated and you won't be able to get unemployment benefits, or come back to work because you're not going to get paid. So we've seen this happen. If you're being instructed by your employer to come back to work, not only are you exposing your coworkers, but you're exposing everybody else that comes into contact with you. So if you work at a nursing home, you're exposing your coworkers and the nursing home population. And we know the nursing home population is really the most at risk, the most vulnerable population for COVID. So you would have a claim if you were positive. And again, you could prove that causation. You could prove that you got it at work. But maybe even worse than that, if you're not symptomatic and you've been instructed to go back to work, you may not be needing a lot of medical care related to it, although I think we still don't know a lot about the long-term ramifications of the coronavirus. But if you've been instructed to go back to work, you're exposing every other coworker and every patient that you come into contact with at work. And that's maybe even a bigger concern than somebody that's been instructed to go back to work themselves.